If you are skinny fat, then I can say with near 100% certainty that you need to bulk. But if you bulk the wrong way, then you'll go from a skinny fat to even more skinny fat, which I'm sure is not something you want to do. Don't be that guy. I'm a mechanical engineering student who has been lifting for over 4.5 years. I went from a 120 pound skinny fat nerd to a 160-pound jacked engineer. The reason I said I was a mechanical engineering student is that I have been taught to create and analyze systems, and in this short video, I'm going to share a system for how to properly bulk and what to avoid. I do one-on-one coaching now. The next 10 people to sign up will get their calls for absolutely free. I'll propel you in the direction that you need to go for maximum gains. I'm going to give you a very quick manufacturing engineering lesson and then tie it straight back into bodybuilding. That way, whenever I tell you the advice later on in the video, it's going to be that much harder to forget that advice. There are many methods to fabricate metals. Two of the most notable methods are casting and forging. In casting, totally molten metal is poured into a mold cavity. Then that molten metal drops to room temperature, solidifies, and then takes the shape of the mold. Casting will fabricate the metal very quickly, and that's nice. But the downside to this is that the speed at which it's getting casted can produce a lot of impurities. So this is like pores in the material. And it could also cause the metal to be more brittle. Brittle means it's hard, but it's a lot easier to shatter. The other method that I mentioned is forging. Forging is where the metal is formed into the desired shape through continuous hammering and pressing. So if you think of a blacksmith making like a sword or something on the anvil, the metal's super hot, they're just going boom, boom, boom. They're forging. This method creates very dense, strong material, but it takes forever because you need to be very methodical with the strikes. The blacksmith doesn't just go at it with a hammer. He does good strikes, good strikes. You have to be methodical with it. In bodybuilding, dirty bulking is the equivalent of casting. When you dirty bulk, you get to the weight goal number that you set way quicker. But this comes with some downsides. Would you put on more muscle? Would you put on more muscle in that time? Yeah, sure. But because you dirty bulk, because you put on the weight very, very quickly, you are way more likely to put on more fat in that process. Yes, you get to the weight goal a lot quicker, but is it worth it that if in the process you just got more fat rather than more muscle? And if you haven't guessed it already, lean bulking is forging. Bulking slowly. The main goal is to pack on more muscle than to pack on fat. You are bulking methodically. This way, your body becomes dense. It becomes strong. You put on more muscle than you do fat. But the downside of this is that it does take a lot longer. But the end result is more worth it. So how do you properly lean bulk? The very first thing that you need to do is to go online and search up TDEE calculator and then find your maintenance level of calories. These online calculators aren't 100% accurate, but it is a very good initial guess. So once you get that number, once you get the level of your maintenance level of calories, add 200 to 500 calories to it. That means if your maintenance level of calories is 2,500 calories, add 200 to 500 and eat at that level. So eat from 2,700 to 3,000 calories per day. That way you are going to put on 1 to 2 pounds of weight per month. Monitor your weight on the scale and adjust if needed. So let's say you picked 500 calories for your surplus. If you are not gaining 1 pound within the week, then that probably means that you need to up it even more, and that online calculator was a little misleading, which is fine, but you have a good guess and now you know what to do. So the second step, remember to be methodical. Just because you are in a caloric surplus does not mean that you can eat whatever you want. The junkier food you eat, so like the more unhealthier food you eat, the more likely you are going to eat more of it, the more likely you're going to gain more fat. With the extra 200 to 500 calories budgeted in your day, eat healthier things. Don't eat things like pizza, cookies, and muffins. Instead, you should be eating like fruits or protein or healthy carbs. The third tip I have for you is to continue to train weights, continue to bodybuild. If you go into this caloric surplus and you do not bodybuild, then you are literally just going to put on fat. You're just telling your body, okay, I'm eating more Let me just put on more fat. Let me just store it, store the extra energy as fat. You have to use that extra energy. Use that extra energy in the gym. Produce bigger biceps. Because if you do not consistently bodybuild in a caloric surplus, you are essentially telling your body, hey, we have extra energy. Let's just store it somehow as fat. And the fourth tip I have for you is, if going on a lean bulk is a little difficult, you're just not consistently gaining weight, I have two little mini methods that you can use to boost your calories in the day. The first one is the sneaky snack method. This is essentially where you just like sneak snacks in between big meals throughout the day. And the second method is the stomach maxing method. Basically, whenever you sit down to eat whatever meal, put extra food on your plate and then push yourself, progressively overload how much you're eating. So let's say you're eating 1 scoop of rice with whatever. Instead, for your next meal, how about you eat 1.5 scoops of rice? Progressively overload your stomach. Get your stomach bigger and bigger so you can consume more and more calories. If you are skinny fat, you need to bulk, but it needs to be done in the right way. Forge your body, engineer your body. If you found this video helpful, schedule a one-on-one coaching call with me with the top link in the description. It's absolutely free and I will propel you in the right direction. You know what to do. Get up and get after it.